Hello and welcome back or welcome to my channel. This is Kaleidoscope Soul Dreams and my name is Kathleen or Kat. I'm so pleased to have you here with me today. Originally, I was planning on filming a different session. And I was actually originally planning on filming that session a week ago. And then last week, I had a surprise Depressiony day and couldn't really get to filming. I just wasn't up for it, and that's okay. It's very important to take care of yourself when you have depression. And so that surprise Depressiony day is really what inspired this session. The tea I'm drinking today is Murchie's lavender cream tea, which is so soothing and calming, and it's just one of my absolute favorite teas for when I don't feel quite up to doing anything, because it's just so comforting and calming and lovely. So I'm just going to take my first sip. And this session is for when you have a surprise Depressiony episode. And you know, they happen. Yeah, they happen, and there's not when there's a day where your depression is particularly bad. So I mean, this can also be used if you have like ongoing bad depression or even, you know, moderate depression, and you're having a day that's just, or you know, a week that's just, you know, significantly worse than your normal. If you are experiencing an extended period, like more than a couple of weeks of worse than usual depression, I would advise you to speak to your provider. Just energy work, this energy work, and really all energy work is a support. It is not intended to replace the care of a provider. And of course, if you are in danger from your depression, I will leave a link I'll leave some links in the description, and I'll leave some like numbers of hotlines in the description as well. However, if you are not in danger from your depression and really it's just a lot worse than usual, but you just really can't do what you're wanting to do, and your mood is really low, and all of your depression-y symptoms are coming to the forefront, that is what this is for. So while I take the last couple of sips of my tea, I'm just going to invite you to find a cozy space And that space might be a bed, or a chair, or a reading nook, or it might just be a cozy space inside your head. And any of those will work just fine for this. So I'm just going to set this off to the side and get our candle. Today we are just going to be using a simple tea light. I didn't want to make this too complex. Excuse me. I just wanted it to be something that would be simple and easy. I don't know if you heard that, but that was my tummy making a gurgling noise. Okay, let's strike our match. There we go. Thank you very much. So let's set our intention together. I set the intention in the most medicinal ease and balance on behalf of the best, on behalf of your best and brightest self. Our best and brightest selves, for the highest good of all, to conduct this energetic session, this Reiki session, for the purpose of being with you, being by your side through a surprise Depressiony episode, and perhaps helping to alleviate that to some degree. And if you have your own intention, now would be a good time to send it into this candle flame. So I'm just going to set this off to the side. And with our intentions burning brightly, let's get into our session. This is one of my favorite cleansing methods right now. This is a vintage clothes brush. I love this. I received this when my grandfather passed away. And I find this to be just an incredibly soothing method of cleansing energy. I'm just going to sweep it down your body, sweeping down clearing away any energetic fuzzies, any energetic sweater pills, and just gently brushing down your energetic field. Brushing this down your body gently. And just starting over your crown and moving downwards. Clearing away any energetic gunk from your energy body. And this is actually very, very soft. The brush bristles on it feel just wonderful, running over my hands. And so when I got this, I thought that it would work very nicely for energetic clearing because it's very, very gentle. And then as I've used it, it has felt quite effective, more perhaps so than I had anticipated. And so gentle but effective felt like a good choice for today. I'm actually just going to set this down for a moment and grab my first stone, which is actually a handful of stones. This is black tourmaline. And black tourmaline is incredible at soaking up negative energy. I used to have several, like 6 or 8 large chunks, and I still have one of them, and I'll grab it in just a moment. Large chunks of black tourmaline, and I'm not sure where the other ones disappeared to. They're in the hole zone, as my family likes to say. So I'm going to be using several pieces of smaller pieces of black tourmaline. And this is 8 small pieces of black tourmaline. I do find that black tourmaline has a lot. It's very powerful at soaking up negative energy, but it does need to be cleansed very regularly. I would cleanse it, it sort of proportionally to how much you use it. So if you use the black tourmaline to soak up, a pretty significant amount of negative energy, then cleanse it pretty thoroughly. One of my favorite ways of cleansing black tourmaline is just setting it on the earth and letting the earth soak up that energy and transmute it. So I'm going to place these in a circle around your feet. Starting in front of you. And then behind you. And then to your dominant side. Excuse me. Sorry, I just kicked you. Accidentally, I promise. To your non-dominant side. To your front dominant quadrant. To your back non-dominant quadrant. Receptive quadrant. To your front receptive quadrant. And to your back receptive quadrant. Okay. And this is my bigger piece of black tourmaline, and this was the only of my bigger pieces that I could find, and this I'm going to place at the center of your feet. There my stomach goes again. It's actually a good thing usually if your guts start making noises during an energy work session. Usually it means that energy is flowing as it should be. So I'm just going to keep brushing you down. And letting the black tourmaline pieces that are encircling you, letting them soak up the energy that is being brushed off. So we'll just let those black tourmaline stones filter out any, or not filter, but just soak up any of that negative energy that is sort of dragging you down, pulling you down, weighing you down, any of that. And I'm going to grab our next tool. This is rope incense. I think I may need to light this a little bit more. Hold on. There we go. I'm just going to set this on this dish, and I'm going to use a feather to fan this smoke, the smoke of this incense, into your energy body. Above your head, and down your body, all the way down your body to your feet. And just gonna gently offer this incense smoke to your energy body, just as a little bit of energetic sustenance. Okay, I'm just going to set this over to the side and let it burn itself out. This stone is honey calcite. I love this one so much. It's so gentle. But it really is wonderful for boosting mood. The energy of it just makes me smile. So I'm going to have you hold this at your heart center. I'll let you take that and hold it at your heart center. And then this is a piece of Smoky Quartz. Smoky Quartz is also really wonderful for depression. It's very grounding. It's very soothing. It's very nurturing. And so this one, I'm actually going to place this one at your throat to help you nurture your thought, to help your let me see if I can get the words out. To help you be kind to yourself in your own thoughts, to help you nurture your mind, to help your mind to nurture the rest of you. And then next, I have this spray. This is made with a blend that I created this last week. In this time where I was feeling not so great, and I wanted to mix up a blend of essential oils that would boost my mood, that would lift my mood. So this is my lift blend. It smells really wonderful. So I'm going to spray it in all of the directions. So that was over your head, and next is under your feet. Down your back, your front, down your dominant side, and down your receptive side. And this contains clary sage, eucalyptus, frankincense, rose, sandalwood, ylang-ylang, and basil. And it just makes me smile when I smell it. So I am going to make myself a little aromatherapy inhaler with this one to take to work for if I ever have a low mood at work. I'm going to ask that you give me your hands. Just place your hands in mine. Yeah. Place your dominant hand in my receptive hand, and your receptive hand in my dominant hand. And I'm going to channel some energy through you. And this might be a little bit forceful, and if you don't want it to be forceful, it can be a little bit gentle, but I am using a little bit of force. When I do this sort of thing, I like to imagine the energy as water in a pipe system, and like there is, some maybe some mucky stuff in the pipes, and they're not working quite as well as they used to. They're not working quite as well as they ought to. They're still running, just not quite as well. So I'm going to push energetically from my dominant hand, and I'm just going to push that energy through your system, your channels, meridians. And I'm really only feeling it sort of as a trickle over this hand so far. I'm going to push a little bit harder. There we go. Now it feels like it's flowing the way that it wants to be. Okay. So the last thing that I maybe should have said at the beginning was think about what tools you have that help you when you're feeling more depressiony than usual. What tools help you to boost your mood or your motivation, or just help you to feel better? And so, just as I talk about a few of mine, I'm just going to keep spritzing you and channeling the energy of these oils and this water to you. So the first one of mine, this may sound a little bit silly, the first one of mine that I wanted to talk about is baby animal pictures. I love looking at pictures of baby animals, and this is something that I am also planning to mention in my next video, which is going to be about fun, or the next video that I'm filming, which is going to be about fun and enjoying the fun parts of life and really letting yourself experience that. We'll get there. But one of the things that I'm going to mention in that video that I wanted to mention here as well is one of the things that really just boosts my mood is, and this is going to sound very silly and maybe a little bit weird, but I really like to contemplate baby elephant tongues. They are so cute. They are so cute. They're like little pointy triangles, and they are so darn cute. If you don't believe me, look up a picture of a baby elephant tongue, because they are too cute for words. So that is trick number 1 for me. The second tool, or that is a tool that I use. The second tool that I use is a nutritional tool, and I do want to be careful giving nutritional advice because I'm not a nutritionist. This is not my area of expertise. But I do want to pass along something that I learned from my nutritionist. I learned that that carbohydrates are a precursor for serotonin, which is linked to mood, and protein is a precursor to dopamine, which is linked to motivation. And knowing that has been so helpful for me, because when I am feeling really low in mood, it allows me to say, oh, I might want some carbs. And when I'm feeling really low in motivation, it allows me to say, oh, my body might probably want some protein. And having that knowledge has really empowered me to take action when my body is sending me messages. So I'm just gonna send you some Reiki as I keep talking. There is a particular thing that I like to make myself when I'm feeling extra depressiony. It is a Decadent Hot Chocolate. I make this with a little over half a cup of chocolate chips. I personally like to use ones that are sweetened with stevia. But you can use whatever you like, whatever works best for you. And I put that in a saucepan with a can of coconut milk, and then I will add 2 scoops of a whey protein powder that I use. So this is not dairy-free, but if you are dairy-free, feel free to substitute in a protein powder that that would work for you. So I use 2 scoops because that's the equivalent of 60 grams of protein, of the kind of protein powder that I'm using. And yeah, so first what I do is I melt the chocolate chips and the coconut milk together. And then when that's cooled off a little bit, or while that's cooling off, I will stir some water into the protein powder to make, to sort of smooth it out so that it doesn't get lumpy when I add it to the mixture of chocolate and coconut milk. And then I will add that protein powder water mix to the cocoa. I will also sometimes add some spices. You can also add sweetener if you want to. I don't find that it usually needs any because of both the chocolate chips and the protein powder that I use is a vanilla flavored one, so it provides some sweetness as well. And yeah, so I will drink that, and that makes about 2 servings, 2 nice large mugfuls, and it's good. It's really good stuff, and I definitely notice a difference once I've drunk it. So that's my second tool in my kit. The next one I want to mention, and this does require the ability to move, because it is some yoga or other easy movement. I like to do like a yoga that is gentle but not too gentle, because if it's too gentle, it actually does not help. It actually doesn't really affect my mood at all. I learned that last week. But I do find that gentle movement, easy movement is helpful. I also have a playlist full of songs that make me smile. And these are mostly songs that have, they're songs of the type of music that I enjoy. And my music taste is pretty eclectic. But some of the artists that are on that playlist are Una, who is a German artist. Lady Gaga is on that playlist. There is a Latin American artist, Juanes, on that playlist as well. I believe Owl City. There are a lot of songs on that playlist. I think there may be a couple of songs by Heather Dale as well. And yeah, they're all just songs that make me smile. They may be songs that make me want to move around a little bit. And that sort of ties into the previous tool of gentle movement, easy movement, and just having a little bit of a dance party by myself is definitely something that is definitely a tool that I use and have used many times. And the last tool that I want to mention, and I'm still sending you Reiki, the last tool that I want to mention is going to a place with waves. And again, this is not going to be accessible to everyone, so I do have another option that doesn't work quite as well, but it does still help, I find. I find being near waves, near a beachy area with waves that I can hear, I find that to be incredibly restorative. and so helpful. Just really, I notice a significant difference in how I feel from arriving at the area with the waves to when I leave, even if I've only spent 10 minutes there. And I think that does have something to do with the smell of the air, but it's also just to do with listening to the waves and that sound. And so the sort of alternate option for if you can't bring yourself to leave your cozy snug nook, your cozy place, cozy space, if you're not up for that right now, that's totally fine. I am sure that you can find tracks of wave sounds on YouTube. I actually really like this app called Nature Space because they have many tracks of different kinds of wave sounds on different kinds of beaches. So that's one of the reasons that I really like that. But the other reason I really like that app is because you can have that sound running in the background as you listen to other things. And that was a game changer for me that I find incredible. So I can, while I'm reading something that's going to, soothe my nervous system, or while I'm doing some other activity on my phone that's going to help me, I can listen to wave sounds while I'm doing that. And that was, learning that I could do that was just incredible. So I do highly recommend that app, Nature Space. It's all one word. The icon for the app looks it looks like both a mushroom and a pair of headphones. It's very cool. So that would be my other recommendation, and I do highly recommend that app. It's really wonderful. I just have a very, very little bit of this spray left, so I'm just going to spray once more to each direction for you. So above your head, beneath your feet, behind you, in front of you, to your dominant side, and to your receptive side. All right. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. I truly hope that it helped you, soothed you, and that it at least allowed you to feel less alone, because I know that can be one of the hardest things with depression. I am sending you eternal love, and I wish you peace as you move forward on your path.